Hey everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where it's the beginning of the week, so we are going to be running, once I get the UI back up, there we go, the Minion Roulette. This week we are going to have Mama? I still have not played Nier and Reincarnation. I should do that at some point, but it's also apparently shutting down soon at the time of this recording, so too late I guess. This minion is probably not going to stick around for long because, I'm recording this immediately after the Animal Relic episode, so, that's going away pretty quickly. That's going to be overwritten by the main scenario minions we're going to be picking up and using. So, oh well, that's just kind of how these patches are going to go, unfortunately. Hello, Jalzan! Are you ready? For the worst part of the Relic grind for A Realm Reborn. This single step alone took me 6 months to do on all 10 weapons on my main file. This step nearly made me quit the Relic weapons entirely. But we'll get through it. We will get through it. It will be fine. I'm going to take it very, very slowly. I only really care about getting Scholar done. The other Relic weapons, I'll do on my own time, at my own pace. It does not matter. Those can get done when they get done. Let's begin the worst step. Trials of the Braves. Jalzan is a man with grand plans for your Relic weapon. Ha, my stout assistant. I trust you are enjoying your Atma-infused Relic. Now, while your newfound might may indeed be impressive, what if I were to tell you that your weapon may grow even mightier still? My research leads me to believe that this is a distinct possibility. As before, if you would agree to be my subject, I promise that you will not be the worse for your part. What say you? Sure, let's do it. I knew I could count on you, my friend. Listen then to the theory I've recently formed. Legends tell that when the world lies upon the brink of destruction, brave souls who bear the light shall arise to banish the darkness. These heroes are known by myriad names, but in my native Radzat Han, they are called the Zodiac Braves. The Zodiac Braves were said to wield arms of unparalleled might, that shone with the radiance of 1,000 stars. My ultimate objective, dear adventurer, is no less than the recreation of these legendary arms. Thavnarian tradition holds that the Zodiac Braves gathered light to their weapons by vanquishing formidable foes. 'Tis my theory that the heroes were in fact absorbing souls. And now, through the use of Atma, your weapon has been transformed into something with the selfsame ability. And it exists as a vessel for souls. At present, however, this vessel holds but a small fraction of its capacity. If your weapon is to realize its potential, you must have a drink deep of the souls of slain foes. Of course, not every soul is created equal, and so it follows that not all creatures will serve our purpose. Indeed, the Zodiac Braves themselves were very particular as to which foes they chose to vanquish. In the interest of efficiency, you would do well to seek out adversaries of like nature. For this, you might refer to the Trials of the Braves, a collection of sacred texts that tell of the hero's deeds. The books are common enough in Radzat Han, but having recently formed my theory, I did not think to bring them with me, alas. Though, with trade flourishing between our lands, mayhap there's a local merchant dealing in imported wares who has them in stock. Well then, we're gonna have to go find one of these books, won't we? Alright then, on to Revenant's Soul to deal with Rowena. No. Yes. Rowena, I'm looking for books. Do you have books? Thavnarian literature on heroes who wielded dazzling weapons, and it's called The Trials of the Braves. Might be as I've got something what fits your description. Gujusana's the one who deals in tomes and the like. You'll find her near the north gate of the toll. Alright, we've got a lead. Let's go speak to this Gujusana and learn about these Trials of the Braves books. These books. If there is exactly one thing that I want them to rework at some point, go back and completely redo for A Realm Reborn Relic weapons, this is the one thing I wish they would change. I'll explain why in a bit. Trials of the Braves? Why, yes, we happen to have the tomes, but why would anyone be interested in moldy old things like What I meant to say was they're extremely rare, and you aren't like to find them anywhere else in Eorzea. 9 books comprise the set, and each alone is worth a small fortune. But I like you, Adventure, so I'm willing to offer them at a discount. Sure. Definitely a discount. For the bargain price of 100 Allegan Tomestones of Poetics, you can be the proud owner of a piece of history, a book from the sacred Trials of the Braves. Make no mistake, anywhere else and you'll easily pay twice that. When you're keen to make the exchange, just let me know. Alright. It is going to be 100 Poetics per book. We need to get all 9 books and complete them to finish this step. By defeating all the foes listed within a book of the Trials of the Braves, your relic weapon atma will gain in attributes. Distinct sets of Trials of the Braves exist for each relic. A set is comprised of 9 books, of which only 4 are available for exchange at first. A Paladin set comprises 7 books for Cortana and 2 for the Holy Shield. Only 6 of these are available for exchange at first. Each book can be purchased from Gujasana. Please note, however, that you can possess only one at any given time. You must complete all of the objectives in a book before you may obtain another. Alternatively, you may also dispose of it by speaking with Gujasana or via the key items menu. May your relic drink deep of the souls of your enemies. Alright, let's talk about the books. First, we'll go over the tutorial. The Trials of the Braves is a collection of sacred texts spanning 9 books, of which is this exactly what we just read? Each book will appear on the key items section of your inventory. Upon fulfilling the objectives of all 9 books, your weapon will be ready to complete its evolution and become a relic weapon animus, one step closer to one of the Transcendent Zodiac weapons. Okay, so to get one of these books, we talk to Gujasana. In exchange, 100 Poetics for 1 book. I take it you're keen to take advantage of my special offer. So which book from the Trials of the Braves would you like to purchase? So, there are 4 sets of books. There's Fire, Fall, Wind, and Earth. Fire and Fall both have 3 books each, Wind has 2 books, and Earth has 1. It's the same books for Paladin, but some of them are dedicated specifically to your sword, and some of them are dedicated specifically to your shield. When you complete all of the objectives in a book, at the moment you have completed the final objective, whatever stat is listed here will be given a couple of extra points on your weapon. So like, completing the first book of Fire will give maybe 2 points of mind to your Scholar weapon. I believe the books of Fall and the books of Earth will always raise Vitality and Determination each, and Book of Fire and Book of Wind will raise particular stats depending on what job you have. Healers will get Mind and Spell Speed. Casters, like Caster DPS, will probably get Intelligence and Spell Speed, I'm thinking. DPS will probably get Strength and maybe Skill Speed. You get the idea. It depends on what specific role you are doing, which gets the fire, which stats get the boost from Fire and Wind. So, I'm going to be going through the books in order. It doesn't really matter. You have to do all the books, so the order literally does not matter. You just got to do them all. But we're going to start with Mind. And I'm just going to work my way down the list. 100 Poetics? Let's do it. Here it is, the Book of Your Heart's Desire. I have no doubt that it'll provide endless hours of entertainment. Have there ever been 100 Allegan Tomestones of Poetics better spent? I think not. Okay, now let's look at the objectives. So that will be, oh come on. In our inventory, key items, Book of Skyfire 1. We have many objectives in each of these books. Each book will have us fight 10 types of enemies, 3 of each type, so that's 30 enemies. We will have to do 3 dungeons. You can do these unsynced if you wish. We have to do 3 fates, some of which are really irritating. Specifically, the fate Surprise in Upper Lenosia sucks, because it's a defense fate that spawns automatically and will fail within 1 minute if you're not on top of it. And we also have to do 3 leave quests, 1 in Northannelin, 1 in Kurth's Central Highlands, and 1 in Mordona. While the specific exact objectives will change from book to book, it's always 30 enemies of 10 different types, 3 dungeons, 3 fates, 3 leave quests. And it is tedious. If you're doing this at level 90, which is at this time the current level cap, if you're doing this at level 90 with perfect equipment, with like completely maxed out equipment. This will take at best 90 minutes per book. And that's if you get lucky with the fate spotting. Times 9 books, that's about 13 and a half hours per weapon. Times 10 weapons, that's 135 hours. This is the most tedious thing. Single thing right here. The books, this is the single most tedious thing in the entirety of Final Fantasy XIV. Nothing else comes close, I believe. I hate the books. I am not going to be showing any of doing the books on screen. There are wikis out there. I recommend the Console Games wiki, and I recommend the Gamer Escape wiki, but for the Relic weapon, for the Animus relics, I specifically really like the Console Games wiki for Final Fantasy XIV. They will tell you everything you need to know about this step. I am not going to go sit here and make you watch me do all of that. I'm not that evil. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do it on my own time, and I will meet you back when the last book is done, and we'll finish the Scholar Animus weapon, and we'll just call it good, and we'll move on, and we'll never speak of this again, okay? Okay, you can find all the resources you need online. There are wonderful resources out there. I am not... A video guide would be probably the worst format you could possibly do. Okay, there is one thing I can genuinely show you that might actually be useful, and you can find this online easily, but there's one thing I can easily show you. So let's go find Daring Harriers. This is the one thing I will show you about doing the books. And you do have to be doing the books as the job you accepted the book as. Whatever job you accept if you actually open up the book, you can see that the book is assigned to your particular weapon. It says Omnilux Atma up there. It is assigned to the job you accepted the book as. You cannot do it as another job. I forget if you actually need the animal weapon equipped. We can test that real quick, actually. Let's test that. Hang on. Where do I have any other? I have... let's use the cognitive. Okay, you do have to use the Atma relic. Got it. Okay, so see that symbol above the head, the cogwheel? That indicates an objective for the books. This symbol is only used for objectives for the frickin' relic weapon books. So if you see anything, an enemy, a boss with that symbol, you know that is a target you need to go after. The only thing for the books that this doesn't appear on, I believe, are fates and leave quests. But for dungeon bosses and for enemies on the field, look for the cogwheel. It'll help you. Anyways, that's it. I'll meet you when I'm done with all 9 books. Wish me luck. I'm glad. Alright, we are back on the very, very last step of the Scholar's books. So many books. So many tasks. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time while we're doing this talking about the ways they could probably improve the books, because the books suck. The books really suck. So there's 9 books in total, divided into 4 categories, with each category increasing one particular stat for your weapon. The 4 categories are enemies, dungeons, fates, and leave quests. Every enemy, you need to fight 3 of them, 3 of each type, and there are 10 types you need to fight per book. For the fates, there's 3 fates you need to do, scattered across Eorzea. For the dungeons, there's 3 dungeons you need to do. And for the leave quest, there's 1 leave quest each in Mordona, Northanelin, and Kurthus that you need to do for each and every book. And yeah, that's all of the objectives per book. So that's 30 enemies, 10 types of 3 each. So about 30 enemies, 3 dungeons, 3 fates, 3 leave quests. Those fates in particular can take a very long time for them to pop up at all, since it's RNG. And it's specific fates you have to do. It's not just like do a fate in this area. And then on top of that, the dungeons are very slow. It's like 20 to 30 minutes each, on top of whatever queue time, which is extra bad for DPS. When you finish the last objective in a book, you immediately get the stat upgrade for that book. You don't need to like go back and turn it in or anything. You do need to go back to Mordona to buy the next book in the series, but that was the last book, so we don't need to go back and buy another book. We're done. I've done all 9 books for Scholar, and I've done 8 books for Dragoon, and I've done 3 books for Summoner. I'm making progress in the background. Anyways, so yeah, no, there's a lot of things you need to do for every single book. So how can we fix this? Well, I can think of a couple ways. 1, reduce the number of objectives per book. It doesn't need to be 10 types of enemies at 3 enemies each. I could have just taken the Aetheryte to go straight out to North Shroud. Oh well. It doesn't need to be 10 types of enemies, 3 enemies each. It doesn't need to be 3 dungeons, 3 fates, 3 leave quests. You could do 1 dungeon, 1 fate, 1 leave quest. Like, it's a third as much, but it's still a lot to do. Another possible idea is there's 4 categories of books and 4 categories of objectives. You could just say 1 category of book has 1 category of objectives. Like, say maybe the first series of books will have enemies, the second series of books will have dungeons, and so on. It would be a far more reasonable like that. It would be far more like streamlined. The actual like things you are doing would feel a little bit more organized. It could be that you just reduce the number of books per category. 1 book per category could be perfectly fine. That would be fantastic. That particular solution might actually get a little bit screwy with how Paladin's relics work, but for the most part, that could be significantly improved. You don't need to have 9 books. It could be 4 books. Yeah, it's just... There's so many ways that these books could be better. Because right now, the books suck. They take so long. It's an hour and a half at best if you are at level 90 with current fully upgraded gear. 90 minutes at best to complete 1 book. 9 books per weapon? For 10 weapons? For 1 weapon. It can be reasonable if you're already at the current Endwalker level cap. If you're doing this in a Realm Reborn levels when you were intended to, these relic weapons, they're not that good nowadays. You just buy the item level 130 books or weapons off of the poetics vendors from Elena. These are purely for aesthetic. They don't need to be this brutal. There are so many ways they could make these books better, but they don't, because they hate us, because they actually have already made things better than it used to be, to my understanding, and you're not really supposed to be doing this content anyways, unless you're the type of person who really likes doing the really grind-heavy content. But seriously, though, this is, like, there's no reason for this to be this excruciating. Anyways, we finished all of our books, so, time to enhance our relic weapon Atma. Through my arts, I shall permanently bind the souls you have gathered to your relic. Lend me the object you wish enhanced, and I shall see the deed done. It's still equipped. Will that be a problem? Yeah, I need to take it off. Alright. In that case... Do I have an alternate scholar book that I can use temporarily? The Cognitome, here we go. Awesome. Let's go ahead and hand over our Omnilix Atma. Yes, the relic fair pulsates with the power of souls. To have successfully brought it to this state, yours is an uncommon perseverance, adventure. No kidding! You have done your part, and now I shall do mine. This will take but a moment. It is done! Ah, the souls within lended a truly magnificent gleam. Take up your relic anew, my friend, and bask in the light of its majesty. And we got our relic weapon, Animus. Okay. That's another weapon done. I guess we can finish off today by showing off the specific, showing off each of the upgraded each of the Animus weapons. I will point out that it is still item level 100. The item level has not gone up. Its stats have gone up, though, which is nice, but its actual item level has not. The next step will increase its item level, but going from Anima to Animus, it's the same item level. I was wondering why my average item level is 105, but then I realized doing the books gives you way too many levels. I'm level 60 Scholar now, so my Menfina's earring has jumped up from item level 130 to like item level 270. That's why my item level is so much higher on Scholar now. And same on Summoner. Very funny. Love that. I hate it, actually. I don't like that I'm getting so many levels from just doing these relics. It's fine, it makes sense, like, these were intended to be done at level cap, so you wouldn't have been gaining experience at all, but my god, am I getting a lot of experience. I actually have a feeling that if this continues, if I continue to gain way too many levels from doing relics, it may actually cause some really, really screwy things to happen on Summoner specifically, so I'm kind of curious to see if that happens, but we'll see. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out all of our Animus relics. Of course, we have the Scholar. It's glowy, it's got a shine to it, it kind of looks like it's on fire. Let's zoom in and take a closer look at that. I think it's basically the same model as before, it's just on fire and glowing. Alright, I'll be back over on my main and we'll check out the rest of the Animus relics. Alright, hello there, Drake. If you don't mind, I'd like to take a look at my other Animus weapons. Zodiac Zeta weapon Zeta reissue. Let's see. Let's start from the Excalibur and work our way down. So first off, the Cortana Animus, which is the Paladin weapon. Please show my actual gear. And let's take a look at it. Glowy! I do wish this window was a bit bigger. Is there a way to increase the size of this window? I don't actually know off the top of my head. Yeah, same kind of idea. It's got specific, like, particle effects coming off of it, where the Scholar weapon looked like it was on fire. This looks like it's just glowing and has particles coming off of it. Which are kind of fiery, I guess, but they don't look like fire because they're bluish white. Okay, so that's Paladin weapon. Next up is the Aegis shield. Alright, let's take a look. Yeah, same shield, just now with a new glowy effect. Alright, next up, after the shield, we have the Kaiser Knuckles for Monk. Yeah, I think it's largely going to be the same design, just with a different, you know, particle effects on it. This very much looks like it has kind of a mist coming off of it. Also, the tiger heads are very bright in color now. I remember they were a lot duller before. Okay, after Monk's Kaiser Knuckles, we have the Ragnarok. And that's going to be the warrior weapon. Oh, interesting. Hang on, let's sheath this. So it's by default a darker color, but when you pull it out, it actually glows. So that color is possibly more due to the particle effects than the actual coloring of the weapon. Interesting. Alright. After the Ragnarok, we have the Longinus for Dragoon. Yep, same design, just glowy with particle effects. Coming specifically off of the tip. Alright, next up is the Bard weapon. Oh, look at that glow. It's got the same kind of shiny glow as the Scholar weapon does. Nice. And yeah, it's got those particle effects at the tip. Okay, next up after the bow. Sasuke's Blades. This is for Ninja. The Yoshimitsu Animus. Yeah, it's largely the same particle effects, though there's a bit more of like, there's dark wisps mixed in with the lighter wisps. Interesting. I like that effect. That's a good effect. I like that one a lot. Okay, next up we have the Nirvana. That's going to be the White Mage. Yeah, that's White Mage. Not Search. Try On. Whew, you're a bright one. Yeah, let's get a closer look at that. We've still got the orb right in the middle. Oh, right, I need to sheath it from here. Not using my shortcut. Yeah, look at that. And the gem's a nice red when it's sheathed. Okay, next up is Black Mage. The Lilith Rod, or specifically the Stardust Rod Animus. Ooh, 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 that's really good. Oh, this is my favorite so far. This is a really good one. Oh, I like that a lot. I might actually use this as a glam for Black Mage. This is a really good one. I like that. I like the Stardust Rod Animus. And I think all that's left is the Apocalypse, which is the Summoner weapon. Yeah, Summoner weapon. Okay, basically the same effects as on Scholar, just on the Summoner book instead. Nice. Okay, real big fan of the, what was it, Dragoon and Black Mage, especially the Black Mage weapon. Very, very good. I like this step. Overall, good weapons all around, but the Black Mage and the Dragoon really stand out. Was it the Dragoon? I think it was Dragoon. The one that had the dark... No, my god, that was Ninja. Why am I thinking Dragoon? Probably because it would look really good on Dragoon, but no. Ninja and Black Mage really stood out. Black Mage in particular. But overall, I really like the weapon designs on this step. It's the same basic design, it's just changing special effects, but like, I like those special effects. I'm a sucker for the spectacle, and those look good. Alright, anyways, with that, next time on Final Fantasy XIV, let's do another step of the relic weapons, now that we're done with the most tedious damn step of any relic weapon in the game. I'll see everyone next time for that.